How do you lead a diverse group of stakeholders? Picture senior citizens, at-risk youth, and the local police department. The most likely conclusion is probably pretty negative, or maybe a harmful outcome. This was the main question I pondered as I thought about the young woman I have had the opportunity to observe and volunteer with in the last few years. How do you lead a diverse group of stakeholders? Calia Rodriguez, or Pastor Calia, is the family and youth education pastor at First United Methodist Church outside of Dallas, Texas. The church has an aging congregation and a declining attendance. The growth of the children and youth ministries are uncharacteristic for the size and the age of the church. This is due to the on-site preschool attracting families and the at-risk children and teens living in the apartment complexes across the street who are now coming to events and programs at the church. Pastor Calia's response has been to passionately serve the needs of these stakeholders and to reach out to the local authorities to foster understanding and build relationships within the community. Pastor Calia is a collaborative leader. She possesses the attributes, skills, and behaviors defined by Hackman and Johnson's text. She has a collaborative mindset, seeing beyond organizational boundaries, having a vision for what collaboration can accomplish, seeing connections and possibilities instead of barriers, which is the description in leadership, a communication perspective. After the sniper shootings of the 5 Dallas police officers this year, Pastor Calia reached out to her local police department to find ways to bring her at-risk youth and the local officers together in the hopes of breaking down some barriers and reducing fear in both stakeholders. This involves strategic thinking and facilitation skills, which is indicative of our text's collaborative leadership. The result was a basketball tournament in which the youth and the officers were teamed together in a sport they loved. The congregation came to watch, and some of them brought their grandchildren. The officers' families came to watch and participate, be in a healing event for the community, and one in which the police chief recognized his officers needed the relational ties to the community just as much as the community did. He committed his support to a quarterly community event, partnering with Pastor Calia. On the first day of school, she invited the officers and congregation members to come hang out in the church parking lot around 3 o'clock and hand out popsicles to the children walking home. They had just had their first day of school. Most of them do not have parents who are actively engaged in their lives. This was an opportunity to show some interest, show them adults who cared. Most of these children responded positively. It was a lovely afternoon. She is bringing positive role models into the community she serves and leading by her actions. These behavior and actions are inducing commitment and building trust among those she is leading, which is characteristic of Hackman and Johnson's collaborative or integrative leadership model. She is also a situational leader and a servant leader who continually asks herself, what would be the best for those she is leading and serving, as stated by Hackman and Johnson. Because of the diversity of her stakeholders, she needs to adapt her leadership style to the various situations she encounters. She stated, my vision changes on who I am working with and I am in. On Wednesday nights, it is for the youth to become successful and as whole of a person as they can be from their starting point, which is significantly behind most kids. Vision and situations are different for the children's ministries and the family ministries. I have to adapt to and respond to their needs and situations. which is vastly different from the youth. For the congregational members, it is recognizing their talents and capabilities and devising ways for them to serve or support the ministries of the opportunities of the church. Pastor Calia responds to the different needs of the stakeholders by defining their circumstances and creating solutions which impact them in positive and fulfilling ways. Hackman and Johnson call identifying new problems as a problem-finding orientation in creative leaders. This is done by looking inside and outside of the organization to see the gaps of what the organization is doing and what it should be doing. An example of Pastor Calia's problem-finding orientation was to see the lack of opportunity to build relationships among the families in the preschool program. Most parents merely greeted each other and the staff upon drop-off in the morning and pick-up in the evening. Yet the children were together 8 to 10 hours a day with each other and the staff members. She created a monthly dinner and movie night for the preschool families and staff. Dinner is provided by the church members, a family-friendly movie is shown, crafts and coloring pages are available. Parents are getting to know their children's friends, families, and their teachers in a relaxed environment. The normal routine of rushing home, cooking dinner, and doing chores are replaced with an evening of family fun and budding relationships. Pastor Calia Rodriguez is a catalyst in her community and fostering integration among diverse stakeholders, characteristics which our text has described as collaborative leadership. She is a creative leader who identifies problems and seeks unique solutions for optimal results for her diverse group of stakeholders. Her talents and gifts to use in service to those she is leading and working alongside of to make a difference in the everyday human conditions of her community. I will leave you with Calia's favorite quote and her personal mission, which is attributed to John Wesley, the founder of Methodism in the mid-1700s. Do all the good you can, by all the means you can, in all the ways you can, in all the places you can, at all the times you can, to all the people you can, as long as you ever can. Thank you.